Coming up on the show, the federal government is shut down, but the need for thousands now out of work remain. Here in Metro Atlanta, across the nation, nonprofits are picking up the slack and feeling the strain. We're going to show you how they are keeping people afloat, at least for now. And also, the flu bug is back. Oh boy. And it's already making rounds across Georgia. We're going to show you some simple steps that you can take to keep your family out of the doctor's office this season. And they call it a gala where denim meets dedication. We're going to show you how one night in blue jeans can help women right here in Atlanta. This is The Take. Let's get it. Hello and welcome. I'm Chesley McNeil, and this is The Take, where we go above and beyond the headlines, and we go, really behind the headlines. We find out the why and how stories are impacting you and your community. We invite the experts in to share their take as well on today's top stories, and we try to have just a little bit of fun as well. Once again, there is the backdrop, the nation's capital, where today marks 1 week since the federal government shutdown began. Here's where we stand. Yesterday, the Senate blocked for a fifth time the House continuing resolution, falling short of the 60 votes required for cloture, a persistent hurdle that has kept the shutdown in place. A counterproposal was put up by the Senate Democrats, which would fund the government through the end of the month while extending Affordable Care Act credits and reversing Medicare cuts. But that was also shut down. 3 procedural votes are expected late today, likely aimed at trying to force movement on funding bills. While the political wrangling keeps going on, it continues in Washington. The big question for the rest of us here in Metro Atlanta is, how long will this drag on? Joining us now is Dr. Rajiv Dewan. He's the chair of the economic forecasting at Georgia State, here to help us break down all the tea leaves and maybe showing us when there could be some relief, perhaps. Welcome back to the show, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Talk to us about it. What are the key indicators or pressure points that will tell us when this shutdown will finally come to an end?
I think it has to go into the second week and beyond. That's when the paychecks that are supposed to come in on the 10th and the 12th start to make an impact. Remember, people got paid on the 30th before it started. So everybody made their payments on the rent and the mortgage. But now people who get paid bi-weekly, their payments are coming through. And if they don't get it, that's when you start feeling the impact on the side of the people who are directly impacted by the shutdown. You and me are indirect. For example, I'm supposed to fly to a conference this weekend. Mm-hmm. If I decide to cancel it because I'm worried about the air traffic control and the TSA and the lines and everything, then that becomes an economic impact, because now the hospitality and the travel industry will be hurting because I didn't fly out.
So really you're saying it's the people, right? Once the people see that the money's not coming in, they'll get into an uproar, and then is that what forces it, or is it market reaction, or is it something else?
All of it. Remember, this is to me is more like a theater right now. We have seen a lot of shutdowns before this thing. So nothing happens in the first few weeks because everybody's grandstanding. I did this thing. And remember, it takes 2 to shut it down, not just one side, mm-hmm. Okay? So they're going to grandstand. This is politics, right? I mean, they're going to do that. And then they will come up with a solution once their constituencies start to hurt. Both the sides, not just one, both the sides. So that's why when you ask when it's going to end, it's all about politics. Who wants to feel the pain and how much do they feel it, and they come down to the table. To me, this is more like the pain will begin starting in the middle of this month. Mm-hmm. It's not enough to wreck the economy or something, but if it goes longer, say into a month plus, that's when the bad things happen.
All right, so the last time we had one was during Christmas and New Year's, the New Year holiday, when we were in 2018 and 2019. How did this shutdown compare to that one in terms of the scope of political fallout or potential fallout?
That one happened during the holidays, but I remember from that time, nobody felt anything in terms of your everyday life. Mm-hmm. It started, it ended. What happened to your portfolio, you didn't feel it. It was actually going up and down. So it all depends upon. So let's say if the market goes down 10% in the next few weeks, then you and me are feeling it. Could be any reason.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know why the markets go up and down. But if it goes down, then you're going to start blaming the shutdown. Then it becomes more of a pressure point for both the sides to come to a resolution.
Are there any warning signs or any sure signs for us to see that maybe this is starting to come to an end? Or is it the you mentioned earlier, the people now getting into an uproar? Would that be the kind of sure sign that it would end, or could it go on beyond that?
It can go beyond that because, usually if there are like 5 issues you are debating about, you can do some give and take. I take 2, you take 2, we forget about the 5th one. This time it seems to be only one issue so far. It's very difficult to make a deal when you only have one issue that's keeping you apart. You say it's pretty easy. You come a little bit this way, come a little bit that way. That's what we thought's going to happen last week, but it didn't happen. So it seems to me it's more stuck. There's not too much leeway to do some like give and take.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So once this comes to an end, and you said the last time it happened, you and I, we really didn't feel the impacts from it. Let's say this one goes on through the month, like you're predicting, maybe it goes to the middle of the month, maybe even a little bit beyond that. It lasts for about a month. How long does it take for the economy to bounce back? How long does it take for federal workers to bounce back?
Well, by law, the people who have been furloughed will be paid their back wages the moment they come back to work. So if they come back to work by the end of this month, you would not even notice it because they were going to get paid. Now, if it goes into more than a month and they have now missed one full paycheck to make their payments and all that, that's when you will start seeing some impact on spending and all that. But unfortunately, all the data has been shut down, all the data agencies. So I won't have any data to tell you what was the impact, even marginal or not, by the end of this month.
Gotcha.
We may have some indirect evidence, but that won't be the real thing.
Gotcha. All right, Dr. Dewan, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your insight on this issue. All right, folks, we are looking at partly sunny skies for today. We'll get some sunshine in here, and that's going to help to heat things up a little bit. Temperatures will be back into the 80s today, right around 83 degrees for an afternoon high. For those of you who like summer in October, you'll love this day. Now, you see 84 tomorrow, but it won't look like it. We're going to have more clouds. We'll have a little bit more in the way of rain, 40% chance for that rain around. And then behind that front, temperatures will start to cool back down, so we'll feel like fall once again. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We're back with more good stuff right after the break. All right, we want to get you caught up on the latest shutdown movements with NBC Washington correspondent Alice Barr. And Alice, hello to you. We mentioned at the top of our show that some more votes were planned later on today. What exactly are these votes, and what are the likelihood they could move the needle?
Good morning, Chesley. So the Senate has been consistently bringing up a pair of votes that are an attempt to pass a stopgap funding measure just to reopen the government for 7 weeks and allow for more negotiations. These votes have continuously failed in the Senate ever since we entered this shutdown now a week ago. And the conditions on the ground are not changing. So there really is no reason to believe that before we hear about a kind of substantial negotiations, any kind of real movement between the parties, that one of these votes is going to pass.
All right, 1 week in, and we're now seeing some of the impacts from the shutdown, especially in aviation. The worst shutdown at an airport in Burbank, California. How's the administration reacting to this, and are we bracing for more of those type closures?
Yeah, this is the kind of trickle-down effects that you start to see when a shutdown drags on, and that we saw in some of the longer ones in years past, where people are still required to come to work. TSA employees are required to come to work. The air traffic controllers are required to come, but they're working without pay until they should be paid back at the end of the shutdown. But as these shutdowns drag on, you start to see kind of sick outs. You start to see people calling in, and that's what has started to happen at, you mentioned the airport out in California. So the Trump administration just is consistently saying that this is all the fault of the Democrats. Of course, Democrats are saying the same thing in reverse. And so no, as long as it's more of a projection outward and a blame game as opposed to okay, well, how are we going to fix this? That's not what you want to see, certainly. And now there is new concern that I mentioned that, TSA workers, the people that are required to work without pay during the shutdown, are by law meant to be paid back when it's over. But there is now a memo circulating around the White House that is suggesting that the Trump administration may be seeking to circumvent that, or is trying to interpret that law in some different way to suggest that they may not, in fact, have to pay back federal workers, those who are furloughed, at least throughout the shutdown. And that is something that is going to face some very stiff legal challenge. But so a very serious question there that again is raising the stakes. And that has been the tactic from the Trump administration, is to say, okay, Democrats, if you are going to continue to withhold votes that would allow the Senate to pass the stopgap funding measure, then we're going to kind of pile on the pain. They've talked about cutting federal workers, though so far that has not come to pass, and we're not clear exactly when that may sort of be triggered. And now we may not pay back people who have been forced to be furloughed while this shutdown is ongoing. Democrats are continuing to stand firm that there needs to be this extension of Obamacare subsidies in order to prevent people's insurance premiums from really shooting up, doubling, tripling what they've been with those subsidies, and that they believe this is the moment to get that done and use that as kind of a pivot point to get their support to reopen the government. Republicans consistently saying that's a separate issue and that it can't be discussed until the government is reopened. And that, again, is where we stand right now, Chesley.
Gotcha. I got about 15 seconds left. Are you hearing about any light at the end of the tunnel here?
Not particularly. And that's my 15 seconds.
There you go. All right, Alice, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for your insight. Really appreciate it. All right, folks. Don't go anywhere. We got much more for you coming up after the break. We'll be back right after this. Well, we're all feeling a pinch, but even when it comes to big purchases being put to the side or taking the back seat, small indulgences still find their way into our budget, like those coffee runs or mini beauty products. Consumers are keeping little joys alive, one affordable splurge at a time. Time to welcome in, as we always do every Tuesday, friend of the show, consumer expert Morgan Ward. Morgan, hello, how you doing? Okay. We're waiting for Morgan to come in, but when she gets in, we'll be talking to her. But yeah, we're talking about these little splurges, and I believe that Morgan is in right now. All right, there you go. Hey, Morgan, how you doing?
How are you? Thanks.
Good to see you. We've been talking about these little splurges, right? These people putting aside the bigger purchases, obviously, because of where the economy is. But we find that these little, we want to treat ourselves every now and again come into play. So how does these little treats trend, what does that trend tell us about consumers and their coping with the emotional bigger picture of tightening our budgets?
Yeah, we've talked so much about how people are a little concerned. We're uncertain about where the economy is going, but we still love a splurge. And so what people are doing is they're basically just downsizing the splurge that they are enabling themselves to have. So, Starbucks had its biggest week ever last week. So maybe people are buying a sweet drink. Confectioners, so candy has gone up and up. So people are buying little candies. Makeup still has a lot to do with splurgers for women especially, but not the full-size makeup. People are buying mini makeups. So people are making adjustments, but still enjoying, a splurge here and there to make themselves happy.
And is that the thing, right? I mean, I guess this can get you down. I mean, if you kind of concentrate on what's going on day after day, we're hearing this, we're hearing that. And so do we need these little moments, and can they get out of control?
Anything can get out of control. And I think, people are using them as mood management. It's a tiny serotonin release. It makes you a little bit happy for a moment. Lots of things do that. Buying things certainly does it. Sugar definitely does it. So people are using a little bit of money, a little bit of sugar, something that makes them happy, if only briefly. But from where I stand, I think even a brief happiness sort of cuts up the day here and there, or makes you feel, some of the insecurities or uncertainty a little bit less,
Yeah. All right, we are gearing up for the holidays, right? And we're seeing shoppers skip the resale apps and go straight to brands for trade-ins. What's driving that kind of behavior?
Well, a bunch of things. One is that brands are actually giving some money back or some credit, so people have an easy way to get rid of the things that they don't want anymore. And also, people are feeling like they can be certain about the authenticity of the product. So if the brand itself is able to check those products and resell them, it's easier for consumers, and the consumers that buy find it easier and more reliable.
Yeah. What should shoppers be watching out for in the fine print?
Well, one thing, of course, is do they actually get any money back? Do they get any credit for it? Or are they doing all the work and then the brand itself is benefiting? And of course, is there a better deal elsewhere? Can you get it, resale better on eBay and make more money yourself? So, there's always a trade-off with these things.
Is that the best advice you'd give for shopping this holiday?
I would say for a bunch of reasons, everything from environmental to financial, buying secondhand, used, or even new with tags, but already in somebody else's ownership is always a good idea.
I see. All right. How about same-day delivery or even 1 hour delivery that used to be a perk, right? Now people feel it's the norm.
Yeah, we've gotten so used to having things fast and immediate. So everything from Venmo, we can get money to people quickly. From AI, we can get answers quickly, but now we can get products quickly too. So we get products within an hour as promised by DoorDash, as well as Amazon. Now we can add, especially for Prime members, you can add a product to tomorrow's delivery, and that's become a real differentiator for brands, that they can get things to you very quickly and efficiently, and consumers love it.
Yeah, they love it, right? So this has changed. It was like groceries, I guess, or medicine, but now you can get just anything you want. If you need a comb or a brush, right, you can pick those things up, right?
Yeah, of course. And so everything from grocery to movies to everything that we want, we can get it quickly. And so now that consumers have that desire, we want to, even our rides we can get immediately. Retailers are following suit and trying to get those products to consumers as quickly as possible.
Morgan, are people really saving money and time with this service, or are we paying for the convenience without even realizing it?
Well, a lot of people are saving time, certainly. Money is a different question because you're always making a trade-off. So Prime members, at least for Amazon, are getting some of these benefits for free. But if you've ever used DoorDash or others like it, you know that you are paying extra for being a priority in terms of time and efficiency. Yeah, so you are paying more if you want it fast.
Yeah, I guess for convenience sake, you're going to pay. You're going to pay. Morgan Ward, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Flu season is here, folks, and we're going to get the latest on how bad this season could be right after the break. But first, coming right after the break, how often do people really check that car seat after it's been in an accident? We're going to talk about that as well. This is The Take. Don't go anywhere. All right, after a car crash, most of us check for the damage to our vehicles, but what about that car seat for the children in the back? A recent Consumer Report and investigation shares why that overlooked detail could put your child at risk. Joining us now is Jen Stockberger, Consumer Report's Director of Operations at its Auto Test Center. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, this story had a very interesting origin. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so my colleague, who happens to be the lead on the car seat program, was actually in a recent car crash. She was hit from behind. Luckily, her 2 young boys were not with her, but her car seats were. And it drew to, I wonder if people know what to do with their car seats if they're involved in a car crash.
There's a lot of confusion out there over what's considered to be a minor crash versus something that where you would have to replace the car seat. Help us out with that.
Right. So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has given us some helpful check boxes, if you will, as to what is a moderate to severe crash versus a minor crash. They're saying you don't need to replace your car seat if you're in a minor crash, but you don't want to have to do that subjectivity of what that means. So they've said, can the car be driven away? You go through the check boxes.
Gotcha.
Was anybody injured? Did the airbags deploy in either car, either the struck vehicle or the striking vehicle? Is there any visual damage to the car seat? And was the door where the car seat located impacted? If you can't say no to all of those, then chances are it's a moderate to severe crash and your car seat should absolutely be replaced.
Gotcha. So what's the first thing parents need to do when they realize their child's car seat was involved in a crash?
Right. So I just want to layer onto that. If you say none of those things happened, also look at your car seat's owner's manual, because there are some car seat manufacturers, and we've seen, going through the manuals here, that say, regardless of the level of your crash, better to be safe than sorry and replace your seat. So if you do find that you are in a position where you need to replace that seat, one, make it part of your insurance claim. If you can, if you're on site, get the police officer, if he's writing a police report, to include that there were 2 car seats in the car. So they become part of that documentation, and submit those car seats as part of the claim you're making for your car repair anyway. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was gonna ask you, do you need that? Is it essential for it to be a part of the police report, or can you just write that out?
Right, you can write that and say that there were 2 car seats in the car. I personally was involved in a car crash far earlier this year. I did not have any car seats, but the insurance adjuster actually asked me, were there any car seats in the car? So I think it's becoming more common to be asked as part of the claim process. So that is good. And then once you're replacing your seats, take care, because we do a lot of crash testing there. There can be deformation and energy cracking that's internal that you may not see. Take care that somebody else doesn't get to use that car seat down the line. So we take a lot of efforts here in our crash seats. Cut the harness so it can't be used. Take the cover off if you can. Write in permanent marker, do not use. So take some measures to say, this isn't a good car seat for anybody to use down the line either.
Right. There's a growing interest in buying secondhand baby gear to save money these days. You guys are cautious, right?
We are very cautious, and this whole crash history is one of the reasons we say not to, unless you're getting it, from a family member, for example, where this car seat's never been in a crash, it's been cared for, its use history. We do caution against getting seats, say, that you pick up at a tag sale or in a Facebook marketplace or things like that, unless you can know 100% how it was used and that there was never a crash.
Yeah, or even from a friend or neighbor, right? You kind of tend to trust them a little more as well, right? So parents who want to double check the installation of a seat or what seat choice, what resources are out there so they can make sure their kids are safe?
Yeah, so there's a ton of what we call child passenger safety technicians and instructors, which we are here. Look for them in your local healthcare facilities, police departments, fire departments. You can go on to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.gov and look for a seat check station near you or an event near you. But you can make appointments usually. We see it very common for new parents, making sure you've got that installation correct. Critical.
Very critical. Right, I get it. So if there's any doubt, right, a parent has some doubt, how do they make sure, right? Would you recommend that being the best way to go to one of these safety check places, or to have
that's
somebody?
your best bet, but you certainly things that all parents need to know. Read that owner's manual. Make sure you're doing the installation correct. Read the owner's manual for your vehicle, because every vehicle is a little bit different. But it also walk through, we have kind of this checklist of our own. Is the seat tight? Is it the right seat for your child's age and weight? Is the harness tight? And do things like put that top tether on. So all of those things, right seat tight, harness height, harness tight, are coming a quick mnemonic, if you will.
A little nursery rhyme there. Yeah, I caught it.
Go.
Thanks so much, Jen Stockberger. Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks for all the help you gave this morning.
Thanks for having me.
No, not a problem at all. begin to rise up there a little bit. So yeah, get ready, folks. It probably is not going to feel like flu season yet, but it is upon us. It's here. And health officials say this year's strain could pack quite a punch. The CDC is urging everyone 6 months and older to get vaccinated. Wash your hands often and stay home if you feel sick. It adds that the flu vaccination lowers the risk of hospitalization by up to 52% and can cut severe complications, especially among seniors and young children. During an average flu season here in the United States, between 9 and 41 million people get sick, leading to hundreds of thousands of hospitalizations. That's unfortunate, folks. So you got to get vaccinated. Right here to help us out, to help defend from the flu bugs, is Dr. Felipe Lubello. He's the associate professor at Emory School of Public Health. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem, not a problem. We hear about flu season every year. What's the difference, or what's different this year, or what's most concerning about this strand that's coming out?
Well, the last season was particularly severe. We've seen, unfortunately, a lot of pediatric deaths. Probably the most severe flu season we've seen in the last 10 years. And we know the virus changes every season, and that's why our vaccines have to be updated. So it's critical that everyone gets vaccinated against the flu early in the season, September, October. You don't want to wait, and you want to be protected as soon as possible.
Got it. You hear about this every year. We tell people, hey, get the flu shot. Make sure you get the flu shot. I know it's essential to some, like healthcare workers and maybe some schools, you have to get it. But there are people out there that skip doing it. Why do you think that's the case? And what's the best way to convince those who may be on the fence or say, hey, I never got sick or I never got the flu?
Absolutely. And it's understandable that people may have questions about vaccines and in general flu vaccine. It's important to know that the flu vaccine is not perfect, but it's the best thing we have to protect us individually from severe disease. So a lot of people unfortunately get sick and end up in a hospital or have to take off time from work. You also want to be able to protect those around you. You may be healthy, but there may be people around you, babies, older adults, pregnant moms, that need that protection. So there's a lot of reasons for our personal health and for the health of others around us that really tells us that it's important that we take advantage of having excellent vaccines.
Yeah, full disclosure here, I have been one of those that have heard people say, hey, they're actually giving you the flu. So sometimes I skip, sometimes I get it, that kind of thing. Tell me about what's the biggest thing that people get wrong about this thing?
Thanks for that. And that's a common one, right? Mm-hmm. The flu vaccine cannot give you the flu because it's an inactivated virus. It may give you a couple of symptoms, early symptoms that are very manageable, like, you have pain in your arm or maybe get a little sniffles or things like that, but it cannot give you the virus. It's just showing your immune system what the virus looks like. So when it comes down to you getting infected later on, you can fight it better. And the other misconception is that it doesn't work. And the truth of the matter is that 90% of kids that unfortunately are hospitalized and die were unvaccinated. So it's the best protection that we have. It's not perfect. The flu changes every year, and the flu vaccine also has to be adapted. We sort of try to have the best match possible, but it's absolutely an essential way to keep us all protected. And that's why doctors like me take it every year, because we are not only protecting ourselves, but our families, our patients.
So that, along with the washing of hands and some of the other tips you give, are all really the best possible ways to protect yourself from this thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
We've learned during the pandemic and COVID that these viruses really transmit by us touching things that other people have touched. So washing your hands every day, repeatedly, if you've been around in congregate settings, is important. Obviously, if you're sick, if you have symptoms, stay at home. You don't want to propagate the virus. You don't want to get other people infected. And this is particularly true for kids. So stay at home, keep your kids at home, because you don't want outbreaks going on during the school season, because it's going to affect everyone. Yeah,
and it's not just the flu, right? In recent years, we've seen overlapping outbreaks of flu, RSV, and also COVID-19. How do families protect themselves from all three?
Absolutely. And all three viruses are circulating in Atlanta and in Georgia. We already are, of course, in the respiratory virus season. And the symptoms are very similar between those three viruses, right? So really the only way to tell is by going to a doctor and getting a test, or if you have a test at home. The most important thing about flu is vaccination. The most important thing about COVID is vaccination. And the most important thing about RSV is vaccination. They all have excellent vaccines that are available, and particularly for small babies, pregnant moms, and also people over 65. These vaccines are critical in keeping us from having severe disease in these groups.
All right, Doc, I got to go back to the doubters now. This is not me this time, but I have heard people say that, well, I got the vaccine and I still got sick. I'm not doing it anymore. What do you say to them?
It may be true. So it may be because you got the vaccine, and really it takes a couple of weeks for the vaccine to work, for your immune system to rev up, and in order for you to be protected. So maybe you got the vaccine, and unfortunately you got in contact with the flu virus within that 2-week period. Or it may be that you didn't get as sick as you would have been if you didn't get the vaccine. And we see that often. Someone that has a pre-existing condition like diabetes or COPD or heart disease really can get hit really hard by flu. So you want to be protected. So even if you get infected, you're not going to get sick. You're not going to be having complications or end up in the hospital or the ER.
Are there two different types? Is there a high, I thought I heard earlier that there's a regular vaccine and then there's a high dose or something like that? What's the difference between those two?
Correct. For certain groups, like people over 65, we have a high dose vaccine that essentially gives you a more potent vaccine, because again, we know that these are the group of people that can get really sick with the flu. We also have a new version of the vaccine that is a flu mist that you can take at home. Parents can also give it to their child, and it's a more convenient way. If you don't like those jobs or like going to the pharmacy, you can order and get it at home, and you sort of like spray it in the nose. So we now have more and more options to protect ourselves against the virus, and it's really a preventable, vaccine preventable disease, right? So we should really take advantage of the technology, of the availability, and protect ourselves and our families this season.
All right. Doc, really appreciate all that insight, man. Some good stuff there. Really appreciate it. A lot of folks probably like me on the fence at times. You may have saved them right there. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
All
Thank
right.
you for your questions.
Take care. All right. CNN's Maribel Abel is going to join us next. She's going to talk about how our money matters when we come back. Welcome back to the show. The financial markets are still walking on their tippy toes as the federal government shutdown enters its second week. CNN's Maribel Abel joins us now from the NASDAQ market site in New York. Hello, Maribel. How are the index starting off trading this morning?
Okay, Chesley. So the government shutdown is entering its 7th day, which means the Labor Department is shuttered and its economic data releases are still suspended. So with that, let's see how the market is moving just after the opening bell. And everything is green, Chesley. Here at NASDAQ, we're up about 49 points. The Dow is up 121 and the S&P is up 12 to start the day, Chesley.
All right. So that doesn't sound too bad, right? Not too bad. All right, we got two major banks stirring up some buzz, talking merger talks. Talk to us about that.
Okay, so Fifth Third Bank has agreed to buy regional lender Comerica in an all-stock deal valued at nearly $11 billion. The company has a large footprint across 12 states with several branches in the Atlanta metro area. Their union with Comerica creates the 9th largest lender in the country and brings a larger presence to the Midwest. A number of regional lenders have been looking for new revenue streams and expansion into faster-growing markets. Many are still trying to recover from an industry-wide crisis in 2023 that shook investor confidence and exposed risk in commercial real estate. So this is a big one, Chesley.
Yeah, we got Fifth Third Bank right here in Atlanta. So yeah, we'll be paying close attention to that for sure. All right, one automaker has found a powerful new way to charge up its electrical vehicles, and Uncle Sam is footing the bill on this.
Okay, so automaker Stellantis is joining rivals Ford and GM in covering the cost of expired EV tax credits for customers. The company, which owns brands like Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, will give buyers a $7,500 cash incentive on existing dealer inventory. Here's the thing, it's the same amount as the recently expired federal EV subsidy. This differs, though, from Ford and GM, which are offering discounted leasing programs versus a cash bonus. Stellantis sales rose 6% in the third quarter quarter, giving it the positive growth needed to cover the expired tax credits. GM and Ford reported their quarterly sales last week, with both companies gaining about 8% year over year. GM set a company record for EV sales as buyers rushed to beat that tax credit expiration. Chesley, it shows how much the industry still needs and still depends on incentives to make EVs appealing. So for now, this is like a short-term bridge to keep EVs moving off the lots.
I'm one of them. I just feel like, man, there's a gas station on every corner. I'm good, but if I got to stop and charge, you got to take time out.
Got to hang on.
Yeah, so I'm still apprehensive. All right, so it isn't just Taco Tuesday, but today is National Taco Day. Who's celebrating?
They line up perfectly. National Taco Day, Taco Tuesday coming together, Chesley. That's by design. It was originally recognized on October 4th, but was adjusted a couple of years ago to fall on the first Tuesday of October. So this year's celebration comes with lots of deals and freebies. Taco Bell is offering several menu specials today, including $1 Cantina Chicken Soft Tacos. You can also enter to win one of 500 limited edition Taco Tuesday t-shirts. Other chains like Del Taco, Moe's South Grill, and Zaxby's are also joining with specials. You can check out USA Today for a longer list of where to grab tacos on the cheap or even free today. Chesley, you know what? The Taco Supreme pack, no lettuce, on repeat for me when I first moved to New York because I could barely afford my studio apartment.
Oh, wow. Are you going to do it today?
Why not? It is Taco Tuesday.
It is. I'm going to join you. I'm going to join you in a taco today.
Let's do it.
So before you eat it, just raise it up. Say, Chesley, here you go.
You got it.
Thanks a lot.
And it's free.
It's free. It's right. Very well. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you joining us.
You got it.
All right. A local organization is helping to save women's lives right here in Atlanta. We're going to talk to the founder of that organization when we come back. Stay right there. Well, it's a celebration that combines denim and dedication. The annual Blue Jean Gala returns this month to benefit Gil Gals, an Atlanta nonprofit helping women to break free from homelessness and addiction. Gil Gals founder Val Cater joins us now to talk about the impact and this year's theme and how you can be a part of changing lives. Val, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
All right. So for those of us, or those watching out there that don't know what Gil Gals is, explain it to us.
We are a Christ-centered recovery residence, and we work with women who are homeless as a result of their struggles with drugs and alcohol. We offer a 12-month program. We ask women to commit to themselves 12 months on their journey to sobriety, and we help them, get everything that they need back together. So a lot of women have lost many things with their addiction, and we help them pull things back together. Jobs, resumes, getting reunited with their families, things of that nature.
Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. You've been doing this for a little over 2 decades now. What keeps you inspired every single day to keep doing this work?
The thing that inspires me is to see change in women. Women will come in and they're hopeless, they've given up, and this is just one more chance that they're giving themselves. And then when you actually see families reunited, children back with their mothers, fathers and mothers who look at me and go, God bless you, Val Cater. I thought I'd never see my daughter again. Those are the things that inspire me. And to see women move on with their lives, get jobs, get marriages, get houses, cars. That's very exciting. I have a couple of women right now that are working on PhDs, right? And so this is a beautiful thing for me to just go, wow, this is cool.
That is amazing. Yeah. And so you have a Blue Jean Gala every year. Explain to us this Blue Jean Gala.
Oh my goodness, Chesley. It is a night of inspiration and fun. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. But what we want is for the people who invest in us to get an opportunity to see firsthand how their dollars have impacted the women that we serve. So you'll hear testimonies from some of the women, you'll hear testimonies from donors, from sponsors. You just sort of see it all as an opportunity to, like I said, have fun. The women are an integral part of the evening, so they do a cardboard testimony toward the end of the evening that's always very inspirational. And then there's opportunity for fun, like buying raffle tickets that might get me a trip to Mexico, right? Or these beautiful baskets. Or this year we have a handmade Afghan that was done by one of our graduates. So all kinds of fun that'll have for the evening.
Gotcha. I got less than a minute left. Tell us how we can get involved, how we can donate.
Sure. You can visit our website at www.womenofgilgal.org. And from that launch, you'll have an opportunity to see how you can volunteer and then also how to make donations. There's a donate button on every page, but the volunteer opportunities are there and they're sort of laid out so that if you want to invest in us, it's an easy thing to see.
And can people still buy tickets to the gala this year?
You can still buy tickets to the gala.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be there. I'll be emceeing.
Okay.
Yeah.
we thank you for that.
Val, thanks so much. Good to see you as always. And thank you for everything you're doing for our community.
Thanks. We'll see you at the gala.
All right. All right, if you wish to attend the Blue Jean Gala, it's set for Thursday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. It will be at the Atlanta History Center on West Paces Ferry Road. We're asked that you wear blue jeans, all right? I know you want to get all dressed up. It is for a great cause as well. And so just a jean-friendly attire will work. All right. All right, don't go anywhere, folks. We got another look at the forecast. Plus, my final take is coming up as well. You want to stay right there. Welcome back to the show. We are looking at, a few clouds overhead right now. We had some showers earlier on. Those showers will continue to push further off to the north of us. Most of the area will stay dry today. 76 degrees will be our temperature by noon, on our way to 83 for an afternoon high temperature today. 83, that's well above our average for this time of year. We should be around 78 degrees this time of year, but we'll be above that today. Now, if you like the 80-degree weather, especially in October, today will be your day to get out and enjoy it, because even though we'll hit the 80s tomorrow, it will have a different look and feel to it. We'll have some showers around. Got a cold front that's going to pass through the area. It will bring us a little better chance for some showers, and I think that will be early in the day. If you wait until the afternoon, that's when the sunshine starts to break out on us a little bit. Looking at temperatures getting up to 84 degrees, but behind that front, cooler air will start to evac or push its way down into our area so that you see the difference. You'll feel the difference. 84 down to 71 for a high. Yep, you're going to feel that. 70 for the high temperature on Friday, a little better day. We'll have partly sunny skies, and then we'll hold on to that sunshine as we head through the upcoming weekend. Both Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. We're looking at 76 on Saturday, 77 degrees on Sunday, and then by Monday, starting off the work week, you're looking at 78 degrees. That is where we should be for this time of year, and so we'll have that around. So for now, carry the umbrella with you just in case you need it, folks, but we will dry it out toward the end of the week, and it will start to feel a little bit more like fall as we head toward the end of the week as well, with those temperatures down into the low 70s. In fact, near 70 by Friday. Don't go anywhere. My final take coming up right after the break. Well, first Cracker Barrel and now Coca-Cola. Customers are letting companies know they like what they like. Customers are their demand for nostalgia has never been stronger, and Coca-Cola is listening. Starting today, Retro Diet Coke Lime is returning to shelves, and it's a good chance it'll be a huge success. Earlier this year, the company brought back Diet Cherry Coke, which proved just how much of an appetite there is for throwback flavors, and that connects people and cultural moments and their personal memories. It makes me want to start a campaign to bring back some of my favorite candies. When I was a young boy, you remember like Fun Dip? What happened to that? Marathon bars? Remember Alexander the Grape? Pixie Sticks? Oh, man. You remember Now and Laters? Lifesavers, the wild cherry flavor? Yeah. Remember Atomic Bomb, the little balls, the little sucking candy that you had and it was really hot? Man. Join me in my campaign, folks. I got a lot of them. I mean, I might be here for a while. So I want you to have a great day. Encourage someone to start a campaign so these companies don't forget our youth. I'm going to write some more down. Remember Squirrel Nuts? Remember the Jolly Rancher sticks? Ooh-wee. Man, I could be here all day long. Let's start it. I'm going to send something out. You get on my campaign, folks. Check out our social media pages and let me know what you think. Have a great day.